78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. What can we do to help them? Young man meets young woman. Young woman says she loves young man, and wants to have a family. Young woman also does not want to work. Young man does not have much work experience yet, and cannot support 3+ individuals on one paycheck. Young woman thinks solution is 2 paychecks. Just kidding. Young woman leaves young man for slightly older, more established man. Young man is backstabbed by young woman who said she loved him. Young man no longer trusts women, and feels utterly incompetent. Work is work. Friends are moving away. Parents are happy to be done with their 18-year-long, self-inflicted parenting sentence. Young man is left all alone with his feelings. No one else cares. Society tells young man to bite his tongue and not be so negative. Young man has nowhere else to turn but back to his God. Quit treating men like disposable means to an end. A lot of the issues people talk about in this thread are addressed in the book For the Love of Men, which is just very fantastic and insightful. My girlfriend asked for it for Christmas and I read a few chapters before giving it to her. It helped me realize things about myself and the culture around me that I had never even considered before. Funding for mental health, and understanding as a society. Easier said than done, especially in certain cultures. Give more compliments. Everyone likes some compliments even if they say they don't. Smiles. You got this, my G's. Stop saying masculinity is toxic would be a good place to start. Women attempt suicide more often than men, but men are more likely to die from it. This is because typically women use less fatal methods so are more likely to fail, while men usually use fatal methods such as guns. Quit it with the stereotypes. As a guy in his early teens, I can tell you that I am sick and tired of people assuming that all I am is someone who sits at a desk all day playing Fortnite. I honestly despise the game, but that's off topic. People assume that my personality is either a jock, or the weird one, without even looking at me, only hearing my name. I am mainly introverted, but a little less than most. I still talk to people when they ask me questions, or make comments, etc. But I'm a big Nintendo nerd and if I'm not playing Nintendo, I'm most likely drawing. But my personality as the weird kid makes me paranoid to show off my work, and I've honestly thought about ending it sometimes. Not expect them to be a beacon of strength and confidence always, and give them some damned compliments and emotional support. Wonder why men are so emotionally underdeveloped? That's why. Firstly, give an honest look at why men commit suicide, and it seems that be disenfranchised from their family, often after a split, is a big reason. So seems to be the financial stress many feel in having to be the sole financial provider for their family. Although many put that on themselves. Mental health doesn't seem to be as dominant as people think. And #X200B. So in my opinion, to reduce male suicide will take a large social shift. This is beginning slowly, and for many it is hard to understand the benefits to men. By pushing them to move more towards the caring aspect of parenting and away from being the sole provider will leave them less disenfranchised from their families, will put them in equal power in relation to care after a split and getting more custody. Will reduce the pressure they feel to be the sole provider. As they move away from this, women will have to pick up the slack, which many want to. They also have to stop listening to those people who tell them courts are against them in custody and actually go through the court procedure. Courts are not against men, and the truth is the reason women in a large majority get custody is not court ordered. Men just give up. That is, the women get the children because the men just decide on that with no court intervention at all. I believe a lot of that comes from them believing they have no chance. I believe that most men and women want a balance between nurturing their family, having some independence and helping financially. When those are out of balance, it leads to sadness, a feeling of social isolation, too much pressure and depression. A lot of men are very severely out of balance, and we as a society need to get the balance right for men and women. Not bash men for being sensitive. Leave their machoism behind. Such a shame a world instilled to them that they shouldn't be affectionate to other men because it's gay. And they should bolster out and be high and mighty. Men become scared of sharing their feelings solely because of that reason. Men need affection from men. Point blank. Period. Reasonable equality should do it. Just understand that we have emotions, but the world has made it seem like it's a bad thing for men to be emotional. We have good and bad days too. I guess just don't assume that we are just okay because we are guys. We are all going through shit. Stop calling all masculinity toxic. Stop blaming us for the few remaining problems when we built the good, prosperous, free societies you live in today by sacrificing our lives. The spoiled children of heroes will spit in their providers' faces, and that's what liberalism is. No one respects their ancestors. No one values tradition. There were good men in the past, and there would be more good men today if someone, anyone, would show them a drop of respect. When there is an emergency and we evacuate the women and children first, what if we left first and let the women face the danger themselves? Will the feminists fight for us? Sacrifice their lives for us? Will a woman step in front of a bullet? Run into the fire? Men are assumed and expected to do this. Is Emma Watson gonna save us all, or spend the rest of her life complaining about shit she can't possibly understand cause she's never had a real problem in her entire life? 8. Stop with the constant women are always the victim narrative in basically everything in our society. 9. Stop with the constant women and men are completely equal narrative, since the average male is quite a bit different than the average female. 10. Let's actually acknowledge the issues with the disparity in dating and romantic prospects between men and women. 11. Let's cut the bullshit and acknowledge that men and women choose very different career paths when all options are available, including acknowledging the fact that a significant percentage of women will choose to be stay-at-home moms. So stop with the constant barrage of company X has more men than women, so it must be evil. 12. Let's cut the bullshit and stop entertaining news stories about how there aren't enough females in STEM, however completely ignore other industries that are extremely male-dominated. Where's the outrage about the lack of female plumbers? 13. Let's acknowledge that we treat any men who are under 6 feet tall and who don't have a perfect hairline like complete shit, and label them as completely undesirable. Some of these sound like insignificant points. But if you are male with some sort of mental imbalance, the constant barrage of being told that you are expendable and worthless and don't matter absolutely makes a difference in your resulting decisions. Edit, thank you kind stranger. Tell women to stop looking down on us if we aren't manly enough. We should be able to cry without being called weak, and we shouldn't have to super athletic to be likable. Stop pretending like we're this overprivileged ruling class and start treating us like equals. Don't say when they say I feel very horrible about myself and you say man up, or be a man. Men don't cry. That is the reason most of them commit the self-die. In fact, I am a self-die survivor, and I got very mad that I said, hey, can you hello me PLS with my life and stress, and the big sad and ulk the home is go be a man. Make they feel normal and not less to talk about their feelings. I think a big problem is that most of the boys think they're not allowed to talk about their feelings, or they're like that it is not for boys talking about their feelings, like they have to act they don't have any. But that is just nonsense, so we have to help these boys to come out to talk about themselves, about how they feel and how they behave and why. So I think this is a big problem. Everybody should have like even one person they can tell when they are sad or even can cry. I mean, most of the boys act like they never ever would have cried, but it is okay to, because sometimes things are just too hard to take and you have to cry. Show your feelings, boys. Tell us if you don't like something and tell us what you love. What are you all feeling? Just talk about it. Stop telling men that they're inherently rapists and sexists. Simply put, make us feel more appreciated. Guys often feel like we have the weight of the world on our shoulders, and all we want is a little recognition sometimes. Especially with today's political climate, with awful men being, rightfully, called out left and right, it can sometimes feel like we're always under the gun and everything we do is under scrutiny. And sometimes all we want is a pat on the back and to be told, hey, I know you're doing your best and I'm proud of you. taking them seriously and stop telling them to man the fuck up when they want to talk about problems they're having or emotions they're feeling. They are humans too, and humans feel things. Encourage them to talk to you and listen without judging. If you are a woman, hug them too. There is a tenderness you have we can't find elsewhere. Don't circumcise. Get dads to stop leaving and start raising their damn kids.